Welcome to Digital Hospitality. I am your host, Sean Walchef. This is a Cali BBQ Media production. Every single business needs to be digital first, and every business needs to be in the hospitality business. That's our ongoing thesis. Today we are at the Restaurant Transformation Tour at the Wiltern Theater in Hollywood for a very special event put together by Restaurant365. Restaurant365 is an incredible platform that has put together the best thinkers in the hospitality business for this live event. And I have two of the keynote speakers that just came off the stage. Morgan, the co-founder of Restaurant365, James from Dave's Hot Chicken. I had your hot chicken last night across the street from the hotel. It was absolutely phenomenal. But thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show.
Awesome to be here. Thanks.
So you guys kicked off this event. We have a sold out event, 400 people that have come from all different states that have flown in to Hollywood specifically to learn about technology, to learn about hospitality. That is the essence of this show. What are you excited about today's event?
Oh, I'm so fired up. Yeah, I love being with our customers. It's so fun. They're so smart, and they're energetic, and they have so much to teach each other and to teach us so that we can help them better. James is a great example. He's a customer and a partner in many ways, and when you get face to face with people, it's just there's amazing dynamics that happen.
So one of the things we also produce events, and when we produce events, we want to bring the best of the best. Why are you going to kick off with James I mean, why? When you bring somebody that's a keynote that's going to come up on stage, what's the story? Give us the Dave's Hot Chicken story,
I always
please.
tell people I've been in the restaurant industry for 30 years. So after 30 years of doing the same thing over and over again, eventually you get good at what you do. But Dave's is a much younger concept. We're actually only 5 years old. It was started by 4 lifelong friends, founders, that pulled together a whopping $900 to put a pop-up tent in the middle of Hollywood. And literally did $260 the first night, but with Instagram and with an LA Eater article, they literally 10x the revenue overnight.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable story. They opened up their first brick and mortar location in 2017. They had 7 locations at the beginning of 2021. We now have 67 locations over 15 states, and we're going to grow another 40 before the end of the year.
That's absolutely incredible. I mean, one of the coolest things for us is the reason why we do this show, the reason why we do the podcast, the videos, is that storytelling is so important. And the Dave's Hot Chicken story is literally born on the internet through Instagram, onto an Eater article, and then you get to the point where you have this massive growth. And one of the cool things about the presentation that you guys just did was you were talking about Amazon and the flywheel approach. Once you start to experience that growth, you need different things in your business in order to really propel that growth. Why did you bring up the Amazon model?
Yeah, well, once you figure out and you've got a hot concept and people love it, like the very next, like you want to duplicate that, right?
Yes.
There's only so much money that as a restaurant operator can make within the 4 walls of one store, right?
Yep.
So growing your business, it just, more people want to invest, you have more access to capital, you have an exit strategy. I mean, people get into the business because they love what they do, but you got to make money, otherwise you're not going to be doing it for very long, right? And so you need to grow the business. And I don't know, we as on our executive team at Restaurant365 one time, we did an exercise where we looked at the Amazon flywheel, and that idea got planted in my head, and then literally like a year and a half, 2 years later, I was thinking about it on the way to the car. I'm just like, okay, the Amazon flywheel is their story, but what is the story for a multi-unit restaurant business? What's the Amazon dynamics that help a multi-unit restaurant business grow?
Yes.
And so I was like, well, I don't know. I actually don't know the answer. So when you look at Amazon, Jeff Bezos, he said something that's just fascinating. I mean, it's crazy how many of us use Amazon, all right? It's just crazy. And what he said was, they put together the puzzle, and at some point they kind of got enough momentum where they largely stepped back and just let things unfold. I mean, think about that.
It's amazing.
To the point it's a global domination,
Yep.
and they're stepping back and watching it happen.
Yep.
So what are those connections inside of their business that enable them to just start working off of each other? And so then I was like, oh, so for Amazon, for those who, if you can look it up on the internet, Jeff Bezos drew it out on a piece of paper. They offered a low cost structure, a low cost structure led to lower prices led to better customer experience, because we all like lower prices.
Yes.
Customer, that's the first wheel. The second, then that, when you have a good customer experience, it kicks off a second wheel. When you have a good customer experience, you tell your friends about it.
Yep.
That drives more traffic. When you have more people, more eyes on it, then that makes more sellers want to bring their wares to the platform. When you have more sellers, that means greater selection. When you have greater selection, that drives back to a great customer experience. So you have large selection, low prices, and those two wheels just start feeding off each other until you just get this amazing customer experience, until you and I have stuff showing up on our doorstep every day. So those are cool dynamics. So how do they apply to Cali Barbecue? Honestly, like what can you do in your business to get that dynamic going where you can largely step back?
Well, to be honest with you, the thing that excites me the most, you and I spoke yesterday, and I was telling you about building the Amazon of barbecue in San Diego, and it's when you get to simplification, and I think that's one of the best things that happened in the pandemic for us. We were built on breakfast, we removed breakfast, we became barbecue focused, we removed 90% of our menu, which when you're presenting and you're talking about the SKUs and how you only have 9 SKUs, that's something that it's so hard. I was speaking with a family, a father and a son. They flew down from Sacramento. They have 5 Mexican restaurants, Super Taco Mexican restaurants in Sacramento, and we were talking about their menu, and their plan for growth is to simplify that menu. And we were talking about how difficult that is for restaurant owners, for any business owner, because just because you can do it doesn't mean you should do it. And once you remove some of the clutter, once you get into the data and you start to go, is this something that we need? Yes, I want to be the Amazon, I want to be the everything store, but I actually need to get back to just selling books.
Yeah.
You guys are starting to understand that as you grow, what's the temptation to add more SKUs?
Oh, all the time. All the time. And let's be very clear, menu items versus the actual inventory items, we're lucky, right? We have 3 menu items. We sell 1 product. We have 9 SKUs that equal 80% of our spend. So guess what? When I talk about perpetual inventory management to our ops team, I don't look at any of the other 63 SKUs.
No limited time offers?
No. Well, look, I will tell you, the temptation is there. Morgan and I were just talking about it this morning. 50% of our clientele are dudes from 19 to 35 years old. Okay, that can eat a half a pound of chicken in a sitting, right? That's not us, right?
Correct.
Okay, that's not our wives. So guess what? We have to figure out to, create a broader appeal, even if it's just so we don't have the veto factor. So I think there will be product evolution, right? Do I think that our menu is going to go in 3x? Absolutely not. It'll be very strategic tests that we put in. We're going to see the adoption. We're going to see the overall lift and see whether or not we're truly getting the benefit. Because unfortunately what happens in most restaurant groups, it's very simple. You get menu creep, right? And menu creep creates a very short-term lift in revenue that settles back down to 0 incremental. And all you've done is created a bigger headache for operations. So I will say we are just laser focused, making sure that operations, and more importantly, the delivery to our guest, that we measure every single week, both internally and externally, is on an upward trajectory. And I'm happy to say we've done it. We've gone from 3.8 stars up to 4.3 over the last 18 months.
It's incredible.
So we're really excited about that.
So for me, what's really exciting is that there's never been a time where restaurant owners, business owners can actually have a voice and have true partnerships with not just the tech itself, but the people behind the tech, the leaders, the people like Morgan, the people like Tony, and the people that I meet here at Restaurant365. It's so impressive to see how much talent you're recruiting from other industries, but also from within the restaurant industry. Why is it so important for restaurant owners to be more involved in the surveys, in the feedback loop? Because I know it from personal experience for 15 years that the more that I tell Restaurant365, the more that I tell Toast, hey, this works, this doesn't work, it's not just for me. It's not a selfish ask. Because I have ghost kitchens, there will be other Toast customers that have ghost kitchens, and if they solve this catering problem for me, or a data problem, or a financial or a payroll problem, like, that is very valuable information to you, because then you can go and deploy it to all the other restaurants that you take care of.
Yeah. if you didn't believe it before, the pandemic taught all of us that the restaurant industry, first of all, it's not going away. We're always going to be eating out, and whatever the world circumstances are, that food will adapt to whatever it needs to. The delivery, the creation and delivery of food to people will just morph to whatever the market demands. Okay, it's just no one's going back to farming their own stuff and making their own food at home. That isn't a thing.
No, it's not happening.
And the world is changing so much.
Yeah.
You need to, if you saw it in the pandemic, and now expect. I would say to everybody, expect the world to continually be changing in the future. So, given that premise, founders, leadership, executive teams, we have to be listening to and understanding in great detail what's happening on the ground and what you're thinking and how you're responding to your customers. What are they saying to you? What's their behavior? And then the software is never done.
Yes.
Never done. In the 80s, early 90s, they made a piece of software and it was done. No, there's no update at Restaurant365. There's no version control at Restaurant365. It just continually every week, this is new, which honestly, at sometimes we release things too fast and people can't keep up. And we're getting better at communicating those things.
I appreciate that honesty.
But you need to know you're on a moving train.
Yes.
And it will be there and be adapting for whatever the circumstances are going forward. This is not a static thing. We're learning, and we host events like this to continue to learn. And it's one of the coolest parts about what we do, honestly. And as James just mentioned, I mean, you can't just, it's the same, right? You can't just say, I got 3 menu items and now we're good.
No.
Like, you're not gonna grow your business. You have to adapt. You gotta pull in internet, you gotta take care of delivery, you gotta bring in the different demographic of women and children, and
the veto vote.
You gotta avoid the
veto. The
veto.
veto vote.
You gotta make a frictionless buying experience for however it is. Maybe for a hot second there was like this big talk of kiosks, right? That was before phones became just like, why am I dealing with a kiosk when I can just do this on my phone? Like, I have a point of sale. I walk around with my point of sale every day. Like, you just have to adapt, right? You have to be ready for it.
Well, and Morgan, I think part of the interesting piece is if you look at the transition of the point of sale being the center of universe, right? That is no longer the case, right? It's an omni-channel experience, overused word, but it's totally true. Now the customer is the center of the universe, as it should have always been, right? And so, when we start taking a look at the digital experience and focusing on frictionless order modes, I mean, we're fortunate, right? 42% of our sales comes through a frictionless order mode, automatically injected directly into our point of sale / K.I.S.E.S system. So we're actually able to space the delivery timeframes and give food hot, right? Hot and accurate.
It was incredible. Our entire media team, we all ate yesterday, and it was absolutely phenomenal. And there was a huge line, but the line moved so quickly. I mean, that's for us. It's so exciting because we always talk about smartphone storytelling. That's why we do this podcast. That's why we teach restaurant owners. That's why we teach people, business owners all over the globe, how important it is to share your story. Because in the smartphone, it's a convergence of communication, commerce, and content. And that frictionless experience within that is how do you provide what we do best, which is providing food and memorable moments in this hospitality. But we need to have the technology so that it all speaks to each other.
Absolutely.
Right? What does digital hospitality mean to you?
Digital hospitality is very simple, right? It's delivering the expected experience at the right time. It's very simple, okay? If you are slow, be slow, but be timely with your slow delivery. If you're fast, be timely. Always be accurate. Always deliver extraordinary food. Okay? Because at the end of the day, it starts with extraordinary food. People may argue that it's now convenience over extraordinary food. I will say extraordinary food will always win over convenience.
I have to jump in here and talk about. I have to jump in here and talk about. There's a topic right now that's the hottest topic right now. You ask any restaurant operator, and it's labor. Finding people and figuring out and solving the labor thing is so huge. You're talking about going through Dave's Hot Chicken and the line moved pretty quick.
Yes.
Okay. that doesn't happen unless the team behind the counter
She was
is
amazing.
properly staffed. There's
Amazing.
enough people,
Excellent.
and
It
they're
was
trained
amazing.
and they know. You can't. We have a fast pizza concept in the town where I live, and it used to be so amazing. COVID happened, and now there's like 3 people behind the counter,
Yep.
and the line, it takes literally like I go there because I want a custom pizza fairly fast.
Correct.
And now it's literally like 45 minutes for me to wait, and there's just a lot. It's horrible experience.
And the
It's
technology is
horrible.
available for someone to solve that problem.
Well, so when we look, these guys, Dave's Hot Chicken in Hollywood, I looked it up on Yelp this morning. They have 4.5 stars. They have 3,600 reviews at 4.5
Amazing.
stars.
3,600 reviews.
And
And you've been in business for how long at that location?
That one's 2019.
2019?
Yeah.
We have 2,400 reviews and we've been in business for 15 years. You guys
We're
are crushing it.
spoiled. We got a little bit more press.
I guess we need Eater to
But
come
when-
and blow us
We can
up.
help out.
when I said that on stage just now,
Yes.
people broke into applause.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have team here. Your team is in this.
Absolutely.
They deserve that applause. That,
100%.
and I think the operators, the people in the room know
Yeah.
what that means,
Yeah.
and that's why they broke into applause when I
Correct.
said it. I didn't expect that to happen
Yeah.
when I said that stat. You just reacted positively to that
Because
stat.
I know how much work it is.
Yes,
I,
so
I
hard.
can't do that
Yes,
by
so
myself.
hard.
It's one of the hardest. To have 4.5 stars on Yelp is it is like the gold standard.
Yes.
It is the gold standard.
Okay, so this drives the topic. You
Yep.
can't do that unless you have amazing people.
Yes.
Like I'm sorry, you can have all the technology in the world, but you can't
Yep.
pull it off unless the people are the ones who are executing that.
Truth.
That friendly customer experience, clean facilities, order accuracy, speed of service. You've executed the menus properly. You've cooked the chicken the right way so that it tastes great to me. All of those things are done by people. So you have to be organized and you have to be so dialed in with your operations
Yes.
and leverage technology as much as you can and not spend labor dollars on non-value added things. Spend those dollars on technology so that you can, which is at a way cheaper cost,
Yes.
so that you can then spend the money on labor in where it matters most, which drives more sales, which then creates the growth in your business. That is the growth. That's the Amazon flywheel applied to restaurants.
Yep.
I will tell you, the one thing I heard a great analogy, which is the technology is the magic that organizes everything for us. The back of house is the military precision to make sure that everything is executed perfectly. And the front of the house is our customer guest facing experience.
Yes.
That only comes with sincere interaction,
Yes.
right? And it's the combination of that triangle that makes an amazing experience.
It's a great analogy.
Dude, it's
So.
Chick-fil-A. I'm just
love
gonna say it out.
Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A.
My pleasure.
There you go.
My pleasure.
My pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
They own it.
Memorable.
My pleasure. People are copying it.
Memorable.
Delta copied
Yeah.
it. I mean, it's just like, and when their commercials, are their commercials anything about chicken?
No.
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 No, dude. It's all human touch, interaction, personal touch. That's
That's the
what you
competitive.
can't-
That's the competitive advantage that we have in our business. Is hospitality is in our DNA.
Yes.
From your company,
Yes.
Restaurant365, to your company, to our company, the people that listen to this show, that's not only our competitive advantage, but that's what we can teach to other businesses. That is the golden standard. Customer service is bullshit. That's treating someone like a human. Hospitality is the step beyond.
Danny
Where you
Myers
go beyond.
rolling over in his grave right now somewhere. Just setting the table. You're preaching
Yes,
the
it
same.
is, but it is.
It hasn't changed.
It hasn't changed. It
It's
hasn't
a
changed.
differentiating factor
Yeah.
between success and failure. It's that simple.
Yeah.
I mean, the hairs stand up on my arms. This is the reason why events like this. Thank you for investing back into your customers, back into potential new customers, bringing on partners. These are the collaboration collisions that need to happen more. Hospitality thought leadership, when people come together, great ideas happen. I can go back inspired back to my team, talk to them about the things that you guys were talking about. I'm super excited. Where can people learn more about Restaurant 365 and the next transformation tour that's coming to a city near them?
On our website,
On the website.
restaurant365.com.
Perfect.
Yeah, come jump out there and come join us. You don't even have to be a customer. Just come learn. It's been great, and meet new people and rub shoulders with people who are in the trenches making this happen love to invite all to come participate in the
And then
event.
are you accepting new franchisees for Dave's Hot Chicken?
We are, but the majority of the nation's sold out.
But what? It's almost sold out?
Yeah, it's almost, we have 700 units in the pipe.
700 units in the
60
pipe?
separate franchisees.
Global? Are we global yet?
We have Canada. We're opening the UAE, Dubai, Qatar in September.
Amazing.
So yeah.
That is just an incredible, incredible story.
Thank
We're so grateful to spend time with you today. If you guys need to get in touch with me, it's at Sean P. Walchef on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on Instagram. You can email me, Sean at calibbq.media. We will put links to Restaurant365, to Dave's Hot Chicken. Thank you guys for being here, and let's go just enjoy the rest of the show.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Good to be with you.